Right. Welcome back. Last time we went ahead and joined the Internationale, so I'm hoping to push things forward over here, though I've taken a breather from this front specifically because India decided to go ahead and invade Tibet. Happens to be my subject. Yeah. I'm having some issues with holding ground in certain areas, especially in Tibet. It's just annoying to have to actually work towards keeping this territory. Plus there seems to be some issues with keeping territory under control. So, at the very least, my modern tanks are doing good work. Well, my one modern tank division. Which is why I've, actually pretty much the only reason why I've pushed into Vietnam in the first place. I still need to work on making sure my military is effective, though. Oh, and we went down the People's Congress, so syndicalists are now part of the ruling coalition as well. In fact, it's the only way to join the Internationale. Created as a means and instrument to implement organization and enforce the doctrine of the party upon the NRA, the political department of the NRA has come under intense scrutiny for its behavior during the crisis of the Third Congress. The political department was a hotbed of revolutionary activity. Its cadre was made up of intellectuals and officers from the League of Chinese Syndicalists and has often been associated as one of Whampoa's most socialist-leaning wings. The victory of the PAC has led to a reassessment on the nature of the political department. General Zhang Zizong has taken full responsibility for the department's alignment during the unrest against the rightful nationalist government and has since offered his promise that the political department shall henceforth remain loyal to the Revolutionary Committee. General Deng Yanda has ordered a complete curriculum change for the department, ordering instructors to stress the idea of union of all revolutionary classes, while also reorienting the department to focus on Dr. Sun's three principles of the people exclusively. However, some within the government have called for the complete disbandment of the political department, arguing that it has outlived its purpose due to the completion of the Second Northern Expedition. Let them in. That's not good. There was another naval invasion while I wasn't looking. God. I can only draw so many troops off at once from the front in Vietnam. Okay. The China Revival Society was founded by some of the most die-hard nationalist officers training abroad in the post-1927 environment. Probably should end the session after this. Radicalized to the point of derangement by their bitterness and infused with totalist ideology from their disillusioned Western peers, many had risen to posts of prominence due to a mixture of their sheer audacity in combat and their shady deals made by the PAC. Now, however, with the violent portion of the revolution largely drawing to a close, they have been increasingly robbed of a sense of purpose. The KMT are radical in many ways and promise a wide-ranging revolution, but even these promises can hardly satiate their craving for total change. They have taken ill to serving in a peacetime army. Yeah, this is quite the peacetime, isn't it? forced into a life of paperwork and menial guard duty over the daring do they had been promised. Not that they have been particularly well liked by WMARCA military, by the establishment, who disdain their young guard arrogance and find that their tendency towards terror tactics make them merely feared rather than generating much genuine affection. But, with the establishment having consolidated control over the army, there is little chance for them to change tracks now. If things stay their course, many expect that they will slowly but painfully fade away into history. For now, however, they have risen to be a thorn in the government's side as their influence continues to linger past their welcome. Their more heinous revolutionary crimes have thankfully gone down, but been replaced by petty ones often related to racketeering or common thuggery, as young officers who missed the heroic parts of the revolution seek to prove themselves. If their influence has waned sufficiently, perhaps we can find an opportunity to eliminate them. Purge them once and for all. Right. That should be good enough for now. So, the wars continue. I've made progress on certain fronts, specifically this one and this one, but I've continued to fall back into bed, which is difficult to fortify. And there's been constant naval invasions, and I mean constant. They don't stop. They really don't stop. I think they just have constant naval control. Yep. Japan basically has all their ships along my coastline. Pretty much the only ones that can actually compete are America. Let me just set you on strike force. So if there's a battle that goes on along my coastline, I'd like you to take part. A naval battle, anyway. Yeah. Trying to deal with all this has been difficult, to say the least. I'm trying to make encirclements where I can. Yeah. At least they're losing a lot of troops in the process, but I'm losing a lot of manpower too. And our side has lost way more manpower, but that's mainly from the older war. That's pretty close to capitulation too. I don't think they're gonna capitulate from losing a couple provinces, but they're down to this victory point, these 2 victory points, so they don't have much left at all. And I'm a little ways towards capitulation because they keep occupying large quantities. Yeah, but I've dealt plenty of casualties, especially to Japan. And India. Okay, especially to India. I've taken about 250k from India, and I've dealt about 4.6 million to them. I'm just happy to have cynical support, although it's mainly Americans support, because they don't have any front lines of their own. I also have not brought these troops back because I do not want to risk losing them. So for now, they're just going to sit here and support the defense in the area. But yeah, constant naval invasions. There's a new set arriving, which is great. Plus, I simply cannot produce enough planes. Fighter aircraft to keep up. I do, however, have the opportunity to put in a bunch of strat fighters, and I've got a bunch of random close air support. Start strat bombing Japan. Yeah. I've gone through 2 political foci because I've been focusing on trying to get more military stuff done, and as well as that, the game has started to slow down from sheer quantity of things happening, because most of the world is at war now. Even if some wars are pretty minimalistic. And Morocco's about to go down as well. Over here, the front lines have basically stabilized. I have not seen movement at all, so I don't think there's going to be any more movement for a while. In fact, we fell back a bit. Which is saddening. Interesting stuff is going on in Russia. Not sure if they're winning or if Russia is losing more ground, but it does look like it. They did manage to encircle, possibly. Not sure. Either way, I'm slowly making progress against destroying Japanese troops, but I can only go for so long. Oh well. At the very least, things are stable down here. And there's a lot of troops being lost down here by the enemy, so... I'm also having trouble with modern tank production. I'm not producing quite enough for my needs, but... yeah. I did end up upgrading them to a maximum stats, so that's at least good. But yeah, that's good enough for now. I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye. Takes longer and longer to save, so it's still a lot quicker than an M&T.